This is a look at the Astro Excel gray line. This would be the same thing that you could see if you dial in on the 2-hour section of the Excel sheet. This is the Ninja indicator plotting the same thing, and I have it plotted on a 4-minute frame. So right after the open, we hit this low. This is looking at the day session. About 9:36 was that low. We went up, down, following the general pattern of the indicator. Then we had an upward move, which was in the market action, was a little ABC up to a minor pivot high, and then down, matching this down move here on the indicator. Then we had this little zigzag 3-wave up. We got a 3-wave up there to there. That market activity did not reverse there. It continued up and made a high when we got into this rectangle. I drew this rectangle in here because it's showing this choppy activity wrapped around the 0 line. When we get a case like that, it's difficult to tell which one of the pivots in that choppy area are going to be the actual high and low. You can see this pivot here was this high here on the indicator. The indicator was down and back up. We got this slight down and back up in the market. Amplitude of price is not correlated to amplitude of the indicator. We then moved down. We had the low here. The actual low was a couple bars later. We traded up a couple bars. Had a little inversion here, but that's what you're going to get in this choppy action. And then the low here on the indicator, the actual low in the market was a couple bars earlier, and then we traded upward. And then we hit another area of a little chop. You can see how the market action is marked down here, so you can see how it compared to the indicator. We didn't get the top here as we would expect, but we did get it here. So if you're tracking the action through this point here on the bigger peak and the market does not reverse there, you can expect it to go to the next turn in that point. Then we got a little zigzag here, went down. This was actually the low, went up to a little minor high 1 bar off, and then we had this downward move where this peak was actually this low. So where I turn this to blue, we're getting this inversion, and with the inversion, this spike low became this high. We then traded up to this high, then we traded down to this pivot low, then back on what we were expecting that to be upward there, became a little bit of an inversion there, and then we went to this high point here. So this low had inverted to that high. So we went high, low, high. That's this high, low, high. Then the inversion, this low was actually this peak here, that low, then back up, then down. That's the general indication for reading that. So a lot of the time this will give you the trend, but you'll have to be aware and look for those inversions. So the key is to follow this through when you're expecting a potential pivot like here before 11:30. If the market trades up, you can just expect that to run to the next pivot point and then just trail stops with that accordingly. But most of the time, most of the day, this will give you a pretty good indication of the market activity.